contracts should not be difficult to renew. But time and time again, in every conversation I have with vendor management, procurement, contract managers, legal, they're always causing problems. People miss them, people just get to them really late and lose leverage. And when I say people miss them, it's normally because they absolutely have zero idea that there was ever a contract for that vendor or even that vendor existed. And that kind of worries me massively. So what is driving this problem? I can tell you, it's manual vendor and contract management. This is a byproduct of that process. But what do I mean by that? If you're running your vendor and contract management activities through spreadsheets or disparate systems, so maybe you've got Word, email, spreadsheets, you've got all of this stuff everywhere, and you're kind of storing contracts in multiple places or not at all, and you're somehow relying on this one tracker document, and maybe like a SharePoint or some other storage system, Google Docs, just pulling all of this together like magic. That's the challenge here. And this is a way in which almost all of us either working currently, have done in the past, or are looking to escape. And that's why with our Gatekeeper platform, we get rid of all of this issue immediately. Because all I need to do in Gatekeeper is start off on our dashboard, go to workflows, and here I've got a best practice contract renewal workflow that takes minutes to set up that we built to get around this issue, right? Because with this workflow, it automatically triggers a renewal process however many days in advance you need it to of that contract ending or the notice period being reached. So when I was using Gatekeeper, the way I set this up is for a lot of our strategic vendor contracts, we'd want to be notified 90 to 120 days beforehand. And we do that to give us time to assess the market, look for different solutions, or negotiate a better deal on the renewal. And then perhaps on our more transactional vendors, we don't need anywhere near that. Perhaps 30 days is more than sufficient. We're likely just going to renew with them, or we'll change to another vendor because there's so many of these vendors that cover this, and really does just come down to, are they good on price? Are there any risks that stop this? So once we've got those dates locked in prior to the notice period date or the end date, we just turn the workflow on and it starts working, right? And one common issue is that a lot of people don't know that they have vendors or contracts. Well, with Gatekeeper, you're going to have all of your vendors and contracts in the platform. That's going to be the first thing you want to do. You want to get on top of all of this so that you can really perform activities like renewals effortlessly. And you'll never miss another renewal ever again because you'll be notified. Whoever owns the contract, probably the requester or the owner within the business, they'll be notified of whether they want to continue using the vendor, change vendors, or just do away with this for good. And you can see all of this on the Kanban workflow. We can see all of the renewals that are in progress. And I like to think of this workflow as a really good center point for any team meetings. I know that vendor and contract teams have a lot of meetings and they can be wasteful at times. But if you run through these Kanban workflows with your team once a week, takes 5-10 minutes to go through every renewal. You don't really need to worry about status updates and things because you can see it all happening right now, but you can call out any that are being problematic, maybe some that have been escalated because they've gone beyond the SLA that you've set for each phase. You're going to be on top of these renewals and you're not going to suddenly get an auto renew on a SaaS product that costs you 100K that you had absolutely no idea of, and you've got the CFO just breathing down on you saying, what is going on here, team? This cannot be happening. This is the way to do it. This is a really fast way to get return on investment for upgrading from spreadsheets to a platform like Gatekeeper. And it just makes your life so much easier. You can get rid of a lot of this manual work, updating spreadsheets, documentation, and just try to chase everyone, centralize it all here, and let the platform do a lot of the work for you. This is how you make vendor contract renewals easy. And if you're looking to explore how to make other elements of the vendor and contract process easier, I've got a link in the description of this video that will let you book some time with one of my team where we can show you and talk to you about your pain points, figure out whether Gatekeeper could be a good fit for you. But if you're interested in just figuring out this vendor and contract management landscape a little bit more, then I think you might like this ESG video that we've put out that enables you to get started with your ESG vendor journey a little bit easier.